The Go Higher podcast is provided by the High Program at Wayne State University. The High Program, helping individuals go higher.
Hello, everyone, and welcome to the Go Higher podcast, where we take on the tough and relevant subjects in everyone's day-to-day lives and provide insight on how to respond, resolve, and re-inspire yourself and those around you. Moving out on your own can be a nerve-wracking time for anyone. It's hard to go from the familiarity of where you grew up your whole life to a new place where you might not know a lot of people. But it's the same uncertainty that makes it so fun and exciting. When you move out on your own, you get to make your own rules and be the person you truly want to be. I have found there are so many different types of personalities and people, and you may end up living with someone who doesn't exactly match up with every single aspect of your personality. I wanted to share some tips with you all on how to best overcome obstacles you may face while living with someone new. 1. Be honest about what you want and how you feel. I am someone who struggles with being honest about how I feel in certain situations and tend to steer away from confrontation. But being honest about what bothers you will save you from bottling everything up and exploding over a minor inconvenience. You are doing yourself and your roommates a favor by being honest with how you feel about certain things, whether it be an imbalance in the chores, people using your things without asking, or anything else in between. It's hard for a lot of people to find the right balance while living with someone else for the first time. It forces you out of your comfort zone in many ways. Some people did not grow up having siblings where fights are resolved with hair pulling and mean insults and then forgotten about 10 minutes later. But you can't communicate like this your whole life, especially with people who aren't said siblings. I think by pushing yourself to engage in mature conversations about how you're feeling helps us develop better communication skills. Fights might still happen, but the world will keep turning and hopefully you'll be able to work things out maturely. 2. Pick your battles. This may seem contradictory to tip number 1, but I find that they go hand in hand. It's finding the right balance between speaking up about what is really bothering you and learning to let other things roll off your back. Take the high road whenever you can. I promise it will keep you sane. Everyone is going through their own battles, especially right now. If you have spoken to your roommate about their lack of doing the dishes, and you see they're making a genuine effort, but sometimes they leave a dish or two in the sink, that is something you can let go. Between work and school, sometimes things like this fall through the cracks. It doesn't mean they don't respect you, but it seems like we are all trying to balance a million things at once, and sometimes we drop the ball. That's what I mean about picking your battles. However, if you have spoken to your roommate about something that is outright harmful to you or someone else, and they still are continuing to do it, that is when you should get someone else involved. If you are living in a dorm, speak to your RA. And if you're living off campus, talk to your parents or another trusted adult to see what you should do. Number 3, set boundaries. You don't need to spend all your time with your roommate just because you live together. If you're an introvert like me, you might start to feel really frustrated and on edge when you spend too much time with someone, and that's okay. Giving yourself time alone is taking care of yourself. Go for a walk, go to your room, grab something to eat by yourself. Or if you're not an introvert and you just spend too much time with someone, that's okay too. You're not obligated to be best friends with your roomie. Sometimes good roommates aren't always going to make the best friends, and some good friends aren't always going to make the best roommates. Number 4, be aware of your own habits. Take time to recognize and reflect on your own behaviors and actions. Being self-aware of habits that may affect others is important. This may be habits like not filling up the Brita or leaving your things around, but also the kind of energy that you are bringing to the table. If you are always being negative, that is going to affect your roommates and household as well. Be open to the idea, while it may not be intentional, that your actions can affect other people the same way theirs can affect you. However, don't be afraid to reach out and tell your roommates if you are having a hard time mentally. Number 5. You cannot change someone. Everyone's living situations are different, and this is not a one-size-fits-all. These are just some helpful tips I have learned from my own experience. As long as you are trying to be the best version of yourself, that's all you can do. You cannot change other people, but you can change yourself. If your current living situation is not ideal, just know that it isn't permanent and try to take it as a learning lesson and see what it can teach you. But at the end of the day, people are going to do what they want, And it's easier to accept this than constantly try and change someone. Thank you for listening, and I wish you all the best of luck.
College can be difficult, but for some students, financial issues can make things impossible. The HIGH program at Wayne State University provides critical funds to students who are having major issues with basic needs like tuition, books, housing, and food. It's amazing, but just a few $100s at the right time can save a student from dropping out or from being homeless. Students should not have to decide between basic life needs and finishing their education. The HIGH program has connected hundreds of students with these basic needs and provided a light at the end of the tunnel for what amounts to the most difficult period of their young lives. If you would like to help, donations of any amount are welcome, and you can find all our information on highprogram.wayne.edu or at WSU High Program.